All right, hi everybody, Dr. Manning, and this is going to be a pretty short video related to some content that we're going to be going over in class this week. So we have entered into a new unit. The unit is about branding and positioning, and I thought this would be a good opportunity for us to talk a little bit about this thing called the golden circle. So that's what this slideshow is going to be about. You should have access to this slideshow on Echo, but I wanted to do a video as well just so I could talk a little bit about some of the key concepts. All right, so at this point, I am hoping that you have already done a couple of things related to branding. I hope that you've already looked at some of the brand stories that were available on the website that I provided you on Echo. If you haven't done that yet, go back and do that, because I think if you know a little bit about like what a brand story is, that will help you understand this concept. And then the other thing that I'm hoping that you have already done is watched the video with Debbie Milner, and she talks about just branding as a concept in general. So speaking of branding, I really like this quote, and I think it kind of like wraps it up nicely. It says, "Branding is the art of aligning what you want people to think about your company with what people actually do think about your company." All right, so branding is a huge part of marketing. And to be a little bit more specific, we've discussed the 4 Ps of marketing, right? Branding falls probably directly into the promotion part of marketing. Because it's the message that you send to your customers or potential customers, or even just the public in general. It's how you want people to think about your company. And getting what they actually think and what you want them to think, putting those two things together is branding. So you're hoping to like persuade or influence people's opinions of your company. And I underlined the word art because this is an art. Like, it's not a science. A science would be like you could follow a series of steps to get to a conclusion. That's not how branding works. It's more of an art. You have to respond to how the public feels about your company. You have to be willing to think outside the box and be creative. So this is definitely more of an art than it is a science. Okay. So the video today is mostly going to be about this thing called the golden circle, and it directly relates to branding. The golden circle is a strategy that branding experts use to kind of help define the entire company's brand overall. And it looks a little something like this. So we start off with a really big circle, right? And then we have 2 other circles inside of it. So it almost ends up looking kind of like a target, right? And the reason they call this the golden circle is because it's supposed to be basically like the central theme or central idea of your company or your brand, all right? So each of these circles represents something. The outer circle represents the what. So this is what your company does or what your company sells. We're going to get more into that in a moment. The middle circle, this white circle, is how. So this is how your company influences people or how they message to their customers. And then finally, the middle part of the circle, and it's the middle part because it's probably the most important, is the why. Why does your company do the things that they do? And this can be very challenging to answer, but it's very important to answer as well, because this answer, whatever it is, the reason that why your company sells the products they do, or why your company has the target market they do, or why your company does the things that they do, will influence all your other decisions in marketing. So let's get a little bit more specific about what these 3 terms mean. So first of all, the what. This is the products that the business sells. And remember, products can be a lot of things. It can be goods, like physical products, or it can be services, things that you offer to people, or it could even be like ideas or concepts. The middle part, remember, is the how. And this is the ways the business communicates their message. So I put in parentheses here, promotion. When we were talking about the 4 Ps of marketing, we said that promotion is communication between the business and the customer. And a lot of times this communication can be one-way communication, such as like advertising. And then sometimes it can be two-way communication. So like social media or customer relations, those kinds of things. All right, and then finally the why. This is often considered to be like the business's mission statement. Perhaps you've heard that term before, or the way they position themselves. Now, there's going to be another video about positioning. This is a concept that's so big that I think it needs to be in its own video. But we are going to discuss what a mission statement is. All right, so to describe these 3 concepts, products, promotion, and the mission statement, I'm going to use a company that everybody is familiar with, Disney, right? It's an enormous company known worldwide. And I like to use this company because it's easy for us to imagine in our minds who Disney is. In fact, before I even start to put some things into our golden circle here, I want you to think about for a moment if you can imagine what Disney sells, what products they offer, what you think their mission statement might be, like why do they do the things that they do, and then the middle part of the circle is how. So think about like how they try to influence us. Think about their logo. I've got their logo right over here in the corner or on the side here. Think about the colors that they use when they're messaging, or the words that they use, or the images, right? These are all things that the marketers for Disney have determined is how they want to communicate their message to their customers. Okay, so because the mission statement is the most important, in my opinion, we're going to start with that. So I actually just looked this up on Disney's website. You can find the mission statement for almost any business on their website. And it was a little longer than this, but I decided to summarize it because this is what it really boils down to. Disney says that their mission statement is to entertain, inform, and inspire people around the globe. So that is the reason they do the things that they do. Entertain for sure, right? Think about all the things that Disney offers. Most of those things are in the entertainment industry. And when we look at their products, I think you'll see that almost everything or something is related to entertainment. Inform, I think, is interesting because Disney does offer a lot of like educational products. And they also have a lot of things that maybe look like entertainment, but they also have some informative properties as well. And then this one I really find interesting. They want to inspire people. So I think if we were to dig deeper into the products that Disney offers and how they offer them, maybe that is meant to inspire children for sure, but even adults. Okay, so let's look at their products. And I could probably have filled this circle 10 times over if I wanted to list every single product that Disney offers. Disney's an enormous company, right? But I decided to break it down into smaller categories. So, of course, we're all familiar with their movies, right? That's probably where they got their start. But they also have a pretty big television audience. And of course, they have like the Disney Channel. Probably a lot of us grew up watching that. But they offer a lot of other TV as well that people don't quite realize that Disney has. So Disney owns ABC. Disney also owns like ESPN and some other big name television stations. They also have a controlling interest in Hulu, which is a streaming service, right? And then just about a year ago, they started their Disney Plus streaming service. So that goes along with TV. It's just delivered in a different format. They, of course, have the theme parks, Disney World, Disneyland. They've got some in Europe and Asia. They offer cruises. They have toys. They have clothing. And they have a whole bunch of other things that I didn't put here in the circle. But these are the products that they sell. This is how they make a profit. How about their promotion though? Not the what or the why, but the how. How do they message to people? So I mentioned a couple of these earlier, but they of course have their logo. They have the colors that they use. They usually use bright, fun colors, colors that children would be attracted to. Their font. This is a very famous font. Look at like the cursive on the Disney. This is a copyrighted font. Nobody else can use this font. They have certain sounds or chimes that whenever you hear them, it probably makes you immediately think of this is a Disney movie or I'm about to watch a Disney show. Physical design elements is also a concept that we're going to talk a little bit more about later. But this is like all of the decisions that the marketer makes whenever the customer is in a physical location that they offer. So for a lot of businesses, this is like their store or their retail environment. But for Disney, it's mostly like their theme parks and their cruises, right? They even have some Disney stores, of course. Music, advertising, their tagline. The tagline is like a really short phrase that when people hear it, it makes you think of their business or their company. A lot of times the tagline goes hand in hand with the logo. And businesses change their tagline often. Or I say often, not every business. Nike's had their tagline for years. But some businesses change their tagline pretty frequently. And then, of course, their social media presence. If you were to go to Disney's Instagram or Facebook or YouTube channel or any of the other things that Disney offers, they would have a certain feel to them, right? And there's a reason for that. Marketers make that choice. Okay, so the main thing I want you to get out of this video is the importance of the golden circle, okay? The golden circle is meant to help a marketer organize and understand more deeply how their branding and all of the elements of branding work together. All right. So remember that the why is the most important. That's why it's in the middle. You have to understand the why before you can make decisions on these other things. Okay. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you later.